at the Gaming Tech Summit Africa 2025, and with me here today I have Rachel Mijiga. Could you please introduce yourself and what you do?
Thank you very much. My name is Rachel Mijiga. I'm Director General for Malawi Gaming and Lotteries Authority. Our core mandate is to regulate the gaming and lottery industry, manage stakeholders, do compliance audits, and make sure that we're protecting the consumers as the consumer represents the market.
Is it your first time in Kenya?
No, a couple of times. Beautiful, beautiful Nairobi. Always good vibes, so we love Nairobi.
And how are you finding the conference so far?
The conference has been exciting with a lot of presentations, a lot of new technology, a lot of new products that are coming on the market. We're also getting to learn from others, best practice sharing. It's been a beautiful, beautiful 3 days.
The gaming landscape in Malawi is evolving, and there have been recent changes in the current law that governs the Malawi betting and gaming. What influenced this change, and what have been the developments since this was implemented?
Now, thank you. We indeed had to review the old archaic law, which was 1996, to come up with a new piece of legislation that is fit for the digital age. What influenced the change, or what necessitated the change, was the fact that we needed to give confidence to the market, to show the people that we're moving with the trends, we're embracing technology, and this indeed gave confidence to the big brands. We're seeing Betway, betPawa, Premier Bet, 888, they're now in Malawi, and we're also getting a lot of inquiries from the big brands. So that demonstrated that we're committed to moving with technology, to embracing change, and hence you see the big guys are coming on the scene. And this has also pushed the market. We reported 73, the market size for last year, which is 2024, to 73.3 million US dollars, and that's huge.
You've mentioned 888 being in Malawi now. Do you think the Malawi market is now ripe for investments?
The Malawi market, as I've said, the last calendar year, which is 2024, we reported a total market size of $73.3 million, and that's huge. That's why you're seeing 888 coming through, and we welcome to Malawi. We welcome to the Malawi. They've done a launch, a soft launch. We're seeing how they're going to pan out. And as I mentioned earlier on, we've got the big guys as well. There's Premier Bet, there's Betway, as well as betPawa. That demonstrates, or that gives you the confidence, or the consumers out there, or the listeners out there, that Malawi is a market with the potential for investment. And we've got policies in place that also helps the investor, as well as a vibrant, young, and looking forward regulator that is there to support the investors or the brands that come into the market. Not only are they offering employment, but they are also helping contribute towards the GDP of Malawi. So yes, we're there to help the operators, and they're free to come to Malawi anytime.
Malawi recently introduced the central monitoring system. How is it going? What has been the development since its implementation?
The central monitoring system is a system that we implemented. It's a central repository where we pull data from all the operators into a central repository system. From there, we do an analysis, because we needed to build trust between the operators and ourselves to say what you're collecting is what indeed you are reporting. So we collect the data, match that data with what they have, and so far, so far we're happy. The system is working, and we've seen tremendous and significant improvements in all the parameters that we track because of the system.
There was a recent workshop that MAGLA held on responsible gaming. How is responsible gaming so important that you had to hold the workshop, and what are the lessons that you learned from that workshop, and maybe give an advice to other regulators on what to do?
Responsible gaming is very important, and not just to the regulator, but to the industry as a whole, because the responsibility rests with all of us, being an operator or a regulator, to protect the consumer. Because without a consumer, you don't have a market. Then what are you there for? So with all responsibility to make sure that we're setting safer gambling limits, social responsibility we give back to the community, as well as responsible gambling, so that we've got a market tomorrow. I'll give an example to say, for instance, your mother gives you food, including seed, so that you plant for next year. Then you decide to eat all the food plus the seed as well. And yet you're expecting to harvest next year. Where is it going to come from? So we've got a responsibility, all of us, to make sure that we're protecting the consumer for a sustainable industry, because without the consumer, there is no industry. So our message to everyone else is we're not just looking at responsible gambling alone, but the trend now is we're looking at everything else encompassing environment, society, as well as corporate governance. And it shouldn't just come as a compliance exercise. I'm doing this because the regulator says I have to do it. It has to come from deep down within the heart, because that's what is going to drive long-term growth and value for the industry in the next 5 to 10 years.
Underage gambling is a problem in most African countries, and Malawi recently had regulations that they put up regulations in a bid to curb this underage gambling. How is the development so far? How was it received?
Underage gambling is indeed a problem. It's a blind spot in the industry. It's there, it exists, but somehow you don't see it. So let me put this into perspective. For instance, if a child has got a phone, that phone, the curvature is that phone behind the scenes is masked as belonging to an adult. So if my daughter is 12, she's not allowed to register a mobile SIM card. In that case, as a parent, I have registered a phone or a SIM card under my name, but I've given it to my daughter. She's going to get a pop-up advert that says you gamble, because that phone, the system where I recognizes it as belonging to an adult. How then do regulators or operators come in and say, this is a child? So it's a double-edged sword. It is there. It's a blind spot. All of us have got a responsibility, not only as a regulator or as an operator, but also as parents, as guardians that are responsible. Because the first step is you have given a child a phone. You've also got a responsibility to make sure that that child is protected. In our case, the law in Malawi, we've incorporated it to say anyone who is 18 and below are not allowed to gamble. Should you be fined or found that you are entertaining children, there's a spot fine of 20 million kwacha or imprisonment for 5 years. So yes, we're doing our part to protect the children. At the same time, the first responsibility rests with this person who made it a point to give a phone to a young child. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for talking to us today.
Thank you very much, and my pleasure.